しかし今日のような恐ろしい話は初めてだ。今日という今日は人の心が信じられなくなりそうだ。
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob, and welcome to Clips by Kurosawa, where we'll be watching Japanese writer and director Akira Kurosawa's 8 films featured on Letterboxd's top 250 narrative features list. The film we are discussing today is the only film by Kurosawa that I have seen, so on this series I invite you to watch his movies alongside me and come back to the channel to hear my thoughts. I'd love to know yours in the comment section. On today's episode, we are discussing Kurosawa's breakout film, Rashomon. Kurosawa's Rashomon, released in 1950, is a Japanese drama centered around what happened to a samurai after he was discovered dead. The film depicts multiple perspectives of the event based on the character and is known for the technique of subjective storytelling. This storytelling device has even earned a title called the Rashomon effect. Rashomon is said to be the first international success for a Japanese film and has received critical acclaim throughout the years. It is ranked 191 on Letterboxd's list and won the Venice Film Festival in 1951. Firstly, the cinematography in this film stands out immediately. The use of natural lighting, long tracking shots, and a variety of angles helps build a visual style and theme. Kazuo Maegawa, the cinematographer, does a great job of using what is often referred to as dappled lighting. Dappled lighting is used to symbolize ambiguity or multiple layers within a character. This technique is prevalent throughout the film and adds to the theme of deception. There is some debate about what the lighting symbolizes in Rashomon. Some critics have interpreted brightness as reason, while dark is impulse. Others say brightness symbolizes sin. I interpreted brightness symbolizing sin due to a couple different scenes within the movie. Specifically, in the scene where the samurai is telling his version of the story, when his wife betrays him, she is covered in natural light, while her husband sits in the shade. Another scene that depicts this is the very beginning. When the bandit first sees the woman and the samurai, he is sitting in the shade, not wanting to get involved and hoping to mind his business. When he finally decides to go after the woman, he stands in the light, leading into the entire incident and movie. This is only my personal opinion, and let me know what you think in the comment section. The cinematography also features great camera work, which looks very ahead of its time with smooth pans, long tracking shots, and gorgeous still shots. Different angles and depth of field stand out in this film, as well as the utilization of close-ups. The close-ups in this film are very well done and provide the audience with more character depth, which is essential in order for the message to come through. I particularly enjoy the sequence of the woodworker walking through the woods and believe it features some of the best camera operations I have seen in early cinema. A technique in this film used a lot is when the camera moves in a conversation between two characters to reveal what the other character looks like or what they're thinking. This movement looks very modern and adds to the suspense and deception of these characters. The cinematography in this film inspired many filmmakers, including Wes Anderson, which is fairly obvious after watching this film and one of his films. Wes Anderson mimics many of the flat surfaces, almost two-dimensional look that is prevalent in many of the shots in Rashomon. Something else in this movie that inspired creators like Anderson is the writing and structure of the story. Many Wes Anderson movies are stories within stories within stories, and I see this similarly in Rashomon. In this film, we have two characters telling another character a story about a trial that they had to go to, in which they heard different stories, which the audience then sees. This strategy of writing in different layers of the story give the writer the ability to tell the story through multiple perspectives, and it also adds to the suspense of not knowing who's telling the truth. Although if the choice of telling different stories about the same incident is not done properly, it can leave the viewer confused. Kurosawa obviously mastered this and inspired similar writing styles, hence the Rashomon effect. The dialogue between the priest, woodcutter, and commoner is my favorite part of this movie. I believe it adds a lot of social commentary and subtext beyond it. The priest struggling to keep his faith in humanity after hearing the story, versus the commoner who doesn't seem to be shocked by the actions of man in the story, provides an interesting dynamic. The priest seems to represent the humanist and optimist of the world, who like to assume all people are just and honest, or at least try to be, while the commoner symbolizes pessimists and selfishness. The woodcutter, on the other hand, doesn't seem to fall in either one of these categories, making him the most interesting in the story. The woodcutter as a character is the most interesting because of his contradictory claims and his moderate view. In the beginning, he said he found the body during a walk, but later he claims he saw the entire incident and tells his rendition of the story. He claims he doesn't want to get involved, and we are all led to believe that his story is accurate because he holds no stake. We hope that the woodcutter is a good man and someone who is honest, but by hearing these stories, we cannot help but be suspicious after. I believe this film touches on multiple themes, including worldview and perspective, but the standout one, in my opinion, is the fact that people care more about their reputation or status rather than truth and justice. In this film, each character falsified their story in order to somehow protect their image and pride. Even the dead man tells us he killed himself to appear more honorable, while the bandit admits that he killed the samurai and makes sure to tell us he did it in excellent style. The woman says she fainted after she escaped the bandit and tried to help her husband, but who knows? Perhaps rather than presenting a lie, sometimes people can fall so far into a deception that they can't even be honest to themselves. In the end of the film, we don't know who to believe, if any. We are left with the doubt of humanity and a self-reflection of all the personas that we have.
やつは自分自身で白状しに行くことはたくさんある。そうかもしれん。しかし人間は弱いからそうなんだ。弱いからこそ嘘を己さえ偽る。
Thank you all for watching. I've rated this film 4.5 stars on Letterboxd and would recommend it to anyone. Let me know your thoughts and theories on the theme of this movie, and please join us next week where we will be discussing Kurosawa's crime thriller, High and Low, ranked number 7 on Letterboxd and a standout film in his discography. Thank you.